Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome back to another review video. This time, we are taking a look at Monster Beach Party, and we are being joined by a special guest. So please, everyone, give a warm welcome to Dadted.
Hey everyone, it's Dadted here, and it's great to be finally doing a collab with you.
Okay, so to start with the actual review and things, if I remember correctly, I've seen this one so many times and I really didn't like it.
Did you not?
No, I did not. I didn't like how it started out okay, but it didn't end in a way that I thought it was going to end. I didn't like the ending.
Yeah.
So it started off with Jangra doing her usual routine. It's got the typical, the character only has one outfit, but it's like a bunch of different versions, like a bunch of just that one outfit in their closet.
Yeah.
I've seen that done a lot of times.
Yeah. I like that bit, but
Yeah, she's only got like one outfit that's different in there.
yeah.
So there's a little bit of explaining what's going to be happening. They're planning a party, and then there's the song. The song was pretty good.
Yeah, that you're talking about oh, my memory's so bad now. This is the song that I really like. The Best Beach Party or something like that.
Yes.
Yes, I like that song.
Yes, it was a good song.
It was.
And the only thing I have to say about it is the animations in some parts remind me a lot of what you see on like Disney Junior and channels like that meant for the younger kids.
Yeah. But I think that's the target audience anyway.
Yeah. Us older people aren't the target audience.
Yeah, even though I may have enjoyed it quite a lot.
Rookie, I didn't like his voice.
No, some of the voices I was shocked at. I was like,
Yeah.
I've never imagined them having that kind of voice.
Yeah, I think it was a little experimental because I've seen all three shorts or specials. I keep calling them shorts.
Yeah.
I've seen all three, and each one, Cadence's voice is different.
Really?
Yeah. She's played by the same person who plays Jangra.
Okay.
So in the first one, if you listen carefully, you can clearly hear that it's the same person.
Ah.
And in this one, I think they were trying to experiment a little.
Hmm.
And then in the Halloween Panic, her voice is pretty much what I figured her voice would sound like.
Okay.
So I think they're just trying to experiment a bit.
Yeah.
But they definitely need to work a bit on Rookies.
Yeah.
So Gary, his voice, it kind of had to grow on me a bit because I didn't expect his voice to sound like that.
Yeah. I personally, I really liked it. I thought his voice was cool. It was kind of what I expected.
Yeah.
I think that was the same with Rockhopper as well. I kind of liked his voice as well.
Rockhopper, I think he's always had that voice.
Yeah.
From the animated shorts that they put up on the YouTube channel a while back. I don't know if it's the same voice actor though. I'd have to look at that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, Gary's voice had to grow on me a bit. Like after watching the Halloween Panic one, I was like, oh wait, this actually sounds pretty okay.
Yeah, yeah. Sadly, I haven't watched all of them yet.
So there was that part with Sidmal and Jangra going on and off about Gary's inventions. Well, not really on and off, but they're like, oh my goodness, he invented this, this, and this. And let me guess, it was titled 3000. How'd you know?
Yeah.
It's like all his inventions are. Where have you been? So Gary's invention and all that, Cadence is doing stuff. So they do that whole turn it up to 11 cliche thing. I've seen a lot of people do. Like a lot of things do. Like my instant thought was, no, you don't turn it up to 11. That's always a bad idea. It never works out well. Then Herbert comes in, does a little bit of monologuing.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel too out of place. And so he climbs the iceberg, and a piece chips down. You can see an eyeball there.
All I remember is Herbert was in a disguise, but it wasn't.
Oh yeah.
It was like a bad disguise, wasn't it? Like
yeah.
It was so rubbish, but everyone was like, oh, this is a penguin. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but
I think so. Klutzy also had like a fake little penguin beak.
yeah, that was it.
And I think every time I see them, I'm like, wouldn't it have made more sense for him to be disguised as like a puffle or something?
Yeah. Oh, that would have been good if they did that.
Like something that would actually make sense for him.
Yeah, I think that's what adds to it though, is just the I'm trying to think of the correct term to use, but
How
the
gu- how
dumbness of all
how
the
gullible they
yeah,
are.
that's it, how gullible everyone is.
Okay, so Rockhopper is doing stuff with the megalodon, I think is how it was pronounced, comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And so the penguins start just running back and forth across the iceberg. And during that whole scene, I'm like, Cadence is like sitting there right in the middle of all of it, and I just can't help but think well, Gary's there too, but like she has like probably like more authority on there than anyone else there.
Yeah.
So she could have probably spoken up at any time and be like, "Hey guys, you shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Stay still." But instead, it was Roofhouse who's like, "Hey guys, stop that. We're gonna tip the iceberg." And wink at the camera.
Yeah, that was a nice little touch
Yeah.
to all the rumors that go around that you can actually tip the iceberg on actual Club Penguin. So it's cool
Yeah.
that they include like little things like that into
Yeah,
it.
that was kind of a somewhat funny thing. I was like, ha, ha, I get it.
Yeah.
So Rockhopper gets like, I don't know where I'm at anymore. I'm like skipping around, but like Rockhopper at one point gets thrown onto the iceberg from his ship.
Mm.
Like the ship goes down. Like, well, there goes ship number 4.
Yeah.
And so he gets thrown on. Okay, Blizzard's all like, hey, feed him snow cones. And then Jonger's like, you're an idiot. No, wait, you're brilliant. Gary, do something with your machine over there. Yeah, okay, whatever. So Gary and Sid Mold change the machine to like a jet kind of propeller kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, let's insert name here 1. Let's do this. And then he pushes the button, it just goes off.
Yeah, and then it creates like a whirlpool.
Well, I was watching the special with my siblings, and we were laughing like crazy at that part where it just like goes away. It's like, welp. And they're just staring at it
Yeah.
as it goes. Gary's like, we should have bolted that down.
Yeah. I remember that bit.
So Lorna brings out the Penguin Island Compendium, I think is what it was
Yeah,
called.
yep.
And she's like, hey, I've heard about this shark thing in this book. And so she's explaining how way back in prehistoric times it was all ferocious and the penguins almost starved to death. Which I was surprised they even included starving to death in there if it was aimed at children.
Yeah. There's quite some intense stuff in kids shows normally.
Yep. And so it's like, oh, it's all ferocious. They almost starved to death. This is what happened. And then Gary, ancestor number 5 million, comes in and is like, I'm going to tame this beast. And then it turns out all it wanted to do was play.
Yeah.
So once they introduce that, that's where things start going downhill for me.
Okay.
So they explain, oh, it just wanted to play. And Jonger's like, all right, then let's give this a shot. He throws her clipboard into the water and it catches it and starts playing fetch with her. And she's like talking to it and treating it like a puppy. That's the part really that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Like,
I could see why.
Yeah, like in the game, they've hinted at it. Like, this is like a ferocious prehistoric shark that we should be concerned about.
Yeah.
And then in the special, they just throw all that aside and make it like just a puppy.
Yeah.
And this special is apparently canon too, because I saw, I don't remember what it was, but in one of the newspapers, I think it was like a secret section in one of them, where it was talking about that it only wanted to play. And I'm like, oh man, this is part of the lore now. But anyway, so that happened. Jongra gets on the shark, jumps over it. So she jumps in, stops the whirlpool, but then the water's about to like crash down on them, and all the penguins are like, "Oh no, what's going to happen?" I'm over here thinking too realistically, like she's a penguin, she'll be fine. Like you guys can swim, you know that, right?
Yeah. I don't think these penguins know that.
So it's like, yeah, she's a penguin. I'm sure she'll be fine. And then Rockhopper's all like, well, here, rest in peace to Jongra and my ship. He takes off his hat and he has an afro underneath.
Yeah, that was funny, and that was a shock at the same time.
Yeah, I was not expecting it. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Like laugh, like I had to pause it when I was watching it. I had to pause it just for a second. Like, wait,
It does kind of suit him though, actually.
it does. It's like the last time we saw him in like anything animated, he was bald.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden he has an afro. I guess he's been away too long.
Yeah.
He's been out in the seas too long, so I've gotten a haircut. John Grunt and the Megalodon resurface. Everyone's all like, hooray. And then they're like, oh my goodness, you've got a prehistoric shark with you. And she's all like, it's okay. It's only wanted to play. And they're like, oh, okay, we can work with this. So they changed the entire theme of the party to sharks.
Yeah.
And again, Rookie didn't like his voice.
And then
I mean, it sounded like they were trying, though.
yeah, and then that was pretty much the end of the whole
Well,
show, really, wasn't it? It was just them having fun on the beach and stuff with the shark.
yeah, and then there was the bit with Herbert where John Gore goes over to him and she says, "Are you two penguins okay?" And then they both sneeze and their fake beaks come flying off, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, it's Herbert!"
And it's like, oh no, facepalm.
And then Herbert does the most desperate thing I've ever seen him do. He takes a snow cone, holds it up to Klutzy, and says, "Don't move, or the crab gets it."
Yeah.
And then he just hands the snow cone off to someone and is like, "I'm so sorry," and runs away. I think that's the first apology we've ever seen out of Herbert,
Yeah.
too. Cuts to John Grant and her friends, and she's like, "Well, that's the weirdest thing Herbert's ever done that I've seen. I see Gary standing right there." I'm like, "Gary, why aren't you doing your job?" Like, public enemy number one is like was like a few feet away from you.
And he didn't even manage to catch him.
The Rookie was there too. So yeah, they run away, and then there's a scene at the little dock. Rockhopper gets his ship back, and he's like, oh my, like kissing his ship. And then there's like, hey, I don't need my clipboard anymore, guys. I went with the flow. and then. As soon as her friends walk away, John Gore pulls out her clipboard. I'm like, "I'm so sorry you didn't hear that. I apologize. Everything's gonna be okay." And then she checks off a click on her checkboard. Apologize to chatboard. Apologize to checkboard. And then foreshadowing for Halloween Panic at the end.
Yeah.
So overall, like I said, I didn't really like it too much.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the ending.
Yeah, I could see why. I personally thought it was alright, but that's because it is the only one that I have seen. So I probably would give it about a 7 out of 10.
I would probably give it like a 1 less than that, like a 6 out of 10. It did have its good moments.
Yeah, it did.
But the overall story could have done a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, there were, like I said, the Megalodon, they just kind of threw that whole thing away.
Yeah.
So that was a bit disappointing. And anyway, so that's about it for that.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. That was good fun. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And also, if you didn't know, I actually do videos over on my YouTube channel, which there will be a link in the description. But I hope you enjoyed this. And it's been good fun making videos with you. So, thank you.
And thank you, too, for joining me.
No problem.
That's about it for this video. I'll be seeing you guys in my next video, whenever and whatever that may be. And thanks for watching.